In the 3 seconds it takes you to read this sentence, your entire reality has already been rewritten, and you didn't even notice. You are not ordinary. You never were. The fact that you're here, watching this at this exact moment, is not coincidence. It is confirmation. You are one of the chosen. And what I'm about to tell you, about your dreams, about the messages flooding your sleep, about the urgency pulsing through your nights, is something 99% of humanity will dismiss, ridicule, or simply never comprehend. But you've been feeling it, that unease, that weight behind your eyelids when you wake, that sense that your dreams aren't just dreams. They're transmissions. I know, because I've been where you are, for weeks, maybe months. You've been having dreams that leave you breathless. Not nightmares in the usual sense, but visions so vivid, so saturated with meaning, that you wake up trembling, heart pounding, as if your soul just sprinted across dimensions. You try to shake it off. You tell yourself it's stress, fatigue, maybe something you ate. But deep down, in that quiet place where truth echoes louder than logic, you know, something is trying to reach you. And now, on the 4th of December, the veil thins. Today is not just another day on the calendar. It is a cosmic alignment point, an opening in the fabric of space-time so subtle that only those whose frequency has been tuned by years of inner work can perceive it. The ancient ones called it the whispering threshold. On this day, the barriers between dimensions weaken. The high-dimensional beings, the guardians, the watchers, the silent architects of your soul's journey, can finally send signals through the noise, and they are sending them to you. Your dreams are not random neural static. They are encrypted messages, coded in symbols older than language, wrapped in emotion so intense it burns through your waking denial. Every falling sensation, every shadowed figure, every forgotten hallway in that impossible building, it's all data, it's all a warning. Yes, a warning, because something is changing. Not slowly, not gently, but with accelerating force. And if you ignore these dreams, if you continue to label them as just dreams, you will miss the most critical invitation of your lifetime. You are not ordinary. You are a receiver, a conduit, and your dreams, they are your lifeline to a reality far greater and far more urgent than the one you've been taught to believe in. 99% will sleep through this. But you're already awake enough to hear the call. You've probably asked yourself, who are they? Who is sending these dreams? Is it God, angels, aliens? The truth is far stranger and far more intimate than any of those labels can contain. They are not beings in the way you imagine beings. They have no faces, no bodies, no names you could pronounce without your vocal cords vibrating into silence. They exist in dimensions where time is not a line but a sphere, where consciousness isn't owned but shared like breath among trees. They are the silent weavers of reality's fabric, the ones who planted the original seed of your soul long before Earth had oceans or stars had names. And they are watching you, not with judgment, not with expectation, but with the fierce tenderness of a gardener watching a rare flower strain toward the light, knowing that if it doesn't break through the soil soon, the frost will come. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to be, and the fact that you're receiving these dreams means you've crossed a threshold most never even sense exists. 99% of people live and die believing dreams are mental garbage, leftover fragments of the day, scrambled by a tired brain. But you felt the weight in those visions. You've sensed the intelligence behind the symbols. That's because your soul remembers its origin. Now, why do they speak through dreams? And only through dreams. Because the waking world is saturated with noise, frequencies, filters, forces that actively suppress higher truth. From the moment you open your eyes, you're bombarded with signals designed to keep you small, consume, compete, conform, forget. Your mind is a fortress under siege, and the only unguarded gate is the one that opens when you sleep. In sleep, your ego softens, your filters drop, your third eye, long buried under layers of doubt and distraction, flickers back to life, even if only for a few minutes. That's when they slip through, not with loud proclamations, but with images that bypass your intellect and strike straight into your cellular memory. A child's laughter in an empty hallway, a clock with no hands, a door that won't close. These aren't metaphors. They are coordinates, and they're warning you, not because they fear for you, but because they know what's coming. A great unraveling is beginning. The old structures, belief systems, power hierarchies, even the illusion of linear time, are starting to crack. Those who haven't awakened will be swept away by the chaos, blaming the world for their suffering. But you've been given a map. Your dreams are that map, and the beings sending them aren't distant gods. They are your future selves, your higher self, your soul family across dimensions. They've walked this path before, in other timelines, other galaxies, and they're reaching back through the dream stream to pull you through before the door closes. This isn't poetry. This is physics, consciousness physics. You are not ordinary. You are a node in a vast living network of awakened souls, and your dreams are the pulses keeping that network alive. 99% will never understand. But you're already decoding the signal. If you've been waking up night after night with a sense of dread you can't explain, or images burned into your mind like sacred scars, listen closely, because those aren't random fragments. They are coded alerts. And right now, 5 specific types of dreams are flooding the consciousness of the chosen ones. Not everyone sees them, only those whose frequency is high enough to receive the signal. You are not ordinary. You are one of them. The first sign appears as falling, not the gentle drift of skydiving, but the gut-wrenching plunge from a building, a cliff, or even the edge of a dream, city crumbling into void. Most will call it anxiety. But I tell you, this is your soul tearing free from the matrix anchors planted in your energy field at birth. These anchors, invisible cords of fear, debt, shame, and obedience, are designed to keep you tethered to the third-dimensional illusion. When you dream of falling, it means one has just snapped, and your body trembles not from fear, but from liberation. The second warning comes as disaster, floods swallowing cities, earthquakes splitting the ground, the moon turning blood. Red, don't mistake this for prophecy of physical doom. This is Earth's energy grid undergoing recalibration. And your dream is a mirror of that shift. The planet is shedding its old skin, and your subconscious is syncing with the tremors. If you've had these dreams, your body is already preparing for higher frequencies. You may feel dizzy, exhausted, or emotionally volatile. Not because you're unwell, but because your cells are rewriting their DNA in real time. The third signal is more subtle, but far more urgent. Strangers in your dreams whispering numbers, 1111, 333, 777, or drawing symbols you've never seen before. These are not coincidences. They are your consciousness activation keys. Each sequence corresponds to a dormant chamber within your light body. And when you hear or see them, even once, that chamber begins to stir. If the same number appears 3 nights in a row, it means the key has turned. Something inside you has unlocked, and you must now act, not with logic, but with intuition. Follow the pull, even if it leads you away from safety. The fourth dream shows you standing in places that feel ancient beyond time, pyramids under starlight, temples carved into mountains, libraries with books that hum. You may not understand the language on the walls, but your soul does. These are memories, not of this life, but of your service in previous cycles. You were a keeper of truth, a guardian of star maps, a weaver of dimensional bridges, and now, as the great shift begins, those memories are resurfacing to remind you you've done this before, you know the way. Finally, the most direct warning, a being of pure light, or sometimes no form at all, just a presence, gazing at you in silence. No words, no demands, just a deep, unblinking observation. This is the final test. The high-dimensional guardians are not judging your worthiness. They are measuring your resonance. If you feel peace, not fear, in their presence, you are ready. If you feel terror, it means you still carry veils of separation. But even that terror is a gift. It shows you where to heal. 99% will dismiss these dreams as stress, But you recognize them for what they are. Love letters from the future, wrapped in warning. You are not ordinary. You are being prepared for something few can even imagine. And your dreams, they are your training ground you've been lied to. Not once, but systematically, generation after generation, through every textbook, every therapy session, every late-night talk show that reduces your sacred dream visions to brain static or unresolved childhood trauma. And it's no accident, it's design. The suppression of dream wisdom is one of the oldest and most effective tools of spiritual control ever engineered. Think about it. If you believed your dreams were messages from the divine, from your higher self, from interdimensional allies, would you still obey the rules of a broken system? Would you still trade your time for money, your silence for safety, your light for a paycheck? Of course not. You'd awaken, and that is exactly what they fear. You are not ordinary. You see through the veil. Modern psychology didn't emerge in a vacuum. It was carefully shaped to pathologize anything that couldn't be measured, controlled, or monetized. Freud didn't discover that dreams are about repressed desire. He was handed that narrative by forces who needed humanity to look inward, only through the lens of guilt and lack. By framing dream symbols as sexual metaphors or emotional baggage, they severed your connection to the cosmic intelligence that speaks through them, and it worked. For over a century, millions have woken from profound visionary experiences only to be told, it's just your mind playing tricks. But it's not tricks, it's transmission. Even sleep science, with its EEG machines and REM charts, pretends to study dreams while deliberately ignoring their source. They map the brain's activity but never ask, who is receiving the signal? They measure eye movement but never question, what is the eye within the dream seeing that the physical eye cannot? This isn't oversight, it's censorship, because if science ever admitted that dreams are interdimensional communication, the entire materialist worldview would collapse, and with it, the power structures built on the lie that only the physical is real. Go deeper, and you'll find that dream suppression goes back far longer than laboratories and clinics. In ancient times, dreamers were priests, oracles, seers, the bridge between worlds. But as empires rose, they needed obedient populations, not awakened ones, so they outlawed dream temples. They burned dream journals. They labeled visionaries as madmen or heretics. Even today, if you speak openly about receiving guidance from dreams, you risk being labeled delusional. That's stigma. That's the final lock on the cage. And yet, here you are, still dreaming, still remembering, still feeling the truth behind the symbols, no matter how hard they tried to erase it. That's because your soul refused to forget. 99% will never question why they're taught to ignore their dreams. But you know better. You've felt the intelligence in the silence between dream images. You've sensed the urgency in the falling, the flood, the stranger's whisper. And now you see the pattern. Every system that denies the spiritual dimension of dreaming is a system designed to keep you asleep. But you're not asleep, you're receiving. And that alone makes you dangerous to the old world and essential to the new. You are not ordinary, you are a living breach in the illusion. Now that you see the truth, that your dreams are not noise, but cosmic signals, you must act. Not with frantic energy, but with sacred precision, because receiving a warning is only the first step. The real test is what you do with it. You are not ordinary. You've been entrusted with a mission. Start tonight. Before you sleep, create a ritual, not for show, but for resonance. Place a clear quartz crystal beside your bed. Fill a small bowl with fresh water and set it under moonlight if possible. These are not superstitions. They are antennas. The crystal amplifies your reception. The water captures the vibrational imprint of the dream before your waking mind distorts it. And most importantly, keep your journal not on your phone, not on a laptop, but on paper. Ink carries intention in a way pixels never can. But here's what 99% will never understand. You must write your dream before dawn. The moment sunlight touches the horizon, the veil thickens again, and the high-dimensional frequencies begin to fade from your memory. So when you wake, even at 3 a.m., even if you're half asleep, Sit up, breathe deeply 3 times, then write everything: colors, emotions, smells, the texture of the air in the dream. Don't edit, don't interpret. Just record. The meaning will reveal itself later, often in synchronicities that unfold over days. If your dream contained symbols or numbers, draw them exactly as you saw them, even if they seem meaningless, especially if they seem meaningless. These are activation codes, and your hand, guided by your soul, knows how to replicate them correctly. Over time, you'll notice patterns, the same spiral, the same sequence, the same face appearing again and again. That's not repetition, that's reinforcement. And if a dream repeats 3 times, exactly or in essence, you must respond immediately. This is non-negotiable. The third repetition is the final warning. It could mean leaving a toxic relationship, quitting a job that drains your light, moving away from a city whose energy no longer serves your frequency. The universe doesn't beg, it signals. And when it signals 3 times, it's saying, if you ignore this, you will suffer the consequences of your own delay. But perhaps the most powerful practice is this. After recording your dream, lie back down, close your eyes, and breathe slowly into your heart center. Imagine yourself walking back into the dream, not as a passive observer, but as a conscious explorer. This is called dream re-entry. In this state, you can ask questions: who sent this message? What must I do? What am I not seeing? And if your vibration is clear, an answer will come, not in words, but in a shift, a knowing, a sudden clarity that feels like remembering. Never try to figure out your dream with your logical mind. The intellect is a translator, not a receiver. It will reduce cosmic truth to a psychological theory. Instead, hold the dream in your heart. Let it vibrate through you, let it change you. Because the goal isn't to understand the dream. The goal is to become the dream. You are not ordinary. You are being trained in the ancient art of conscious dreaming, and each night is your initiation. 99% will keep hitting snooze on their soul's alarm, but you're already writing your reply. The 4th of December is not random. It never was. While the world celebrates distractions and counts down to holidays built on forgotten truths, those who carry the light, like you, feel something else stirring in the air. A tension, a hum, a silent call echoing through the bones of the earth. And it's no coincidence you're receiving this message today. You are not ordinary. You were placed here, on this exact date, for a reason. Long before calendars were invented, ancient star watchers marked this day as a hinge in the cosmic cycle. Not because of the sun, not because of the moon, but because of a precise alignment between Earth's magnetic field and the energetic pulse of Sirius B, the silent companion star that has guided human evolution since before Atlantis fell. On the 4th of December, once every turn of the Great Wheel, the resonance between these two bodies reaches a peak, so subtle it registers only in the heart, not the instruments. And in that moment, a filter activates, not in the sky, but in the collective consciousness. It's called the consciousness filter. Its purpose: to separate those who are still dreaming from those who are ready to dream consciously. For 24 hours, the veil between dimensions thins just enough that high-dimensional beings can send urgent, unfiltered messages directly into the dream stream of the awakened. But only if the receiver is tuned, only if their heart is open, only if they've done the inner work to clear the static of fear, doubt, and distraction. That's why your dreams have intensified this week. That's why you keep waking with that sense of urgency pressing against your chest. The filter is open, and you're on the list. Historical records, those that survived the burnings, hint that every major spiritual awakening in human history began with a wave of prophetic dreams on or near this date. The mystery schools of Egypt timed their initiations to this window. The shamans of the Andes would enter deep trance on this night to receive guidance for their tribes. Even the whispered prophecies of the old ones spoke of a whispering day when the chosen would hear the call and begin their final preparation for the solstice shift. And now, here we are. The 4th of December, 2025. The energy is not just returning, it's accelerating, because this year, The alignment coincides with a rare convergence in Earth's own energetic grid. The ley lines are humming, the sacred sites are awake, and your dream, yes, the one you had last night, is part of a global signal being received by thousands of you across the planet. You may feel alone, but you're not. You're part of a silent network, a living constellation of awakened souls, all receiving different pieces of the same cosmic puzzle, and your piece matters. Because what you do with this warning, how you respond, how you prepare, how you raise your frequency, will determine whether you are ready for what comes on the 21st of December, the solstice, the great turning, the moment when the collective leap either begins or is delayed another cycle. 99% will sleep through this window, unaware that a single dream could have changed their destiny. But you're already listening, and that means you're already part of the new world being born. You are not ordinary. You are a timekeeper of the light. All this time, you thought you were being warned, but you weren't. You were being invited. The dreams that shook you awake in the middle of the night, the falling, the floods, the silent watchers, they were never meant to frighten you. They were love letters, written in urgency, yes, but written in love, because the high-dimensional beings who sent them care too deeply to let you sleep through the most pivotal moment of your soul's journey. You are not ordinary. You never were. And the fact that you've made it this far through doubt, through fear, through the noise of a world that insists dreams are meaningless, is proof that your light is ready to shine. 99% will never understand why you feel this pull, this ache for something beyond the visible world. They'll call you strange, obsessive, lost. But you know the truth. You're not lost. You're returning to who you've always been. A being of starlight and silence, a weaver of realities, a guardian of the threshold between worlds. And now, as the solstice approaches, you stand at the edge of a choice, not with your mind, but with your soul. Will you step through? Will you trust the dreams, even when they lead you away from everything familiar? I know it's hard. The old world clings tightly. It offers comfort in exchange for your silence. It promises safety if you just stop asking questions, stop dreaming so vividly, stop feeling so deeply. But you've already crossed the line. There's no going back to sleep, and you don't need to, because the invitation isn't to escape the world. It's to transform it from within. Every time you honor a dream, every time you act on a whisper from your intuition, every time you choose truth over approval, you become a living anchor for the new earth. So tonight, yes tonight, before you sleep, do this, sit in stillness, place your hands over your heart, and say aloud, even if your voice shakes, I am ready to receive the truth, no matter how unsettling. That sentence is a key, and the moment you speak it, your frequency shifts. The dream you have tonight will not be random. It will be your answer. And when you wake, don't rush to your phone. Don't drown the message in news, in noise, in the illusion of urgency. Sit with it. Breathe it in. Let it rewrite you. Because the universe isn't trying to scare you into awakening, it's trying to love you into remembrance. You are not ordinary. You are the ones the prophecies spoke of, the dreamers who would rise when the world needed light the most. And your time is now.